Look, everyone out there talking about the best investment moves, the shiny tech startups everyone's chasing, the big names that promise overnight fame and fortune. It's all noise, pure noise. You're probably tired. Tired of the same stories? Tired of jumping on bandwagons that leave you empty? Tired of watching others get the wins while you're stuck in the background, wondering if maybe you're missing something crucial? Here's the brutal truth nobody wants to say out loud. The most obvious strategies are usually the worst strategies. When everyone pours their money into the same places, guess what? The returns get squeezed, the risk magnifies, and you end up competing with the herd, paying more for less. But what if there is a better way? A path so hidden, so overlooked, that almost no one even thinks to walk it. A path that could unlock opportunities others only dream of, without all that ridiculous noise, hype, and overvaluation. Yeah, it sounds like a fantasy, but let's cut through the fog. This is real. It's opening for those who dare to look beyond the obvious. You see, while the world is busy fighting for the biggest slices of the loudest pies, some investors have started quietly becoming limited partners in obscure funds. Funds that don't chase trends. Funds that operate quietly, smartly, with discipline. These aren't the flashy unicorn hunting funds. These are the funds investing where no one else is paying attention. And here's the kicker. They've been quietly outperforming. You might be thinking, why would anyone put money in something so obscure? Isn't that riskier? Isn't that harder to track? That's exactly why most people don't do it. Because it's uncomfortable. Because it requires patience and courage. Because it demands you step away from the crowd and bet on the unseen. But here's the truth. It's precisely this discomfort that creates real opportunity. The best returns come from places where others don't dare to tread. Here's the thing. Most of us want freedom. Financial freedom. Freedom from the endless grind. From the dull routine of chasing returns that barely keep pace with inflation. Yet, ironically, many trap themselves by following the safe plays, public markets, well-known funds, easy picks. Safe is a cage disguised as comfort. But limited partnerships in less known funds? That's a doorway, a secret door. When you step through, you gain access to investments that are not just different, they are unique. These funds often back tiny companies, emerging sectors before they explode, niche strategies that big institutions overlook. They're lean, agile, and relentless in their pursuit of value. Imagine this. Your capital fuels creators and innovators way before anyone else catches on. They get to build, grow, and transform quietly. And when the market finally wakes up, boom, the value you helped nurture comes to life. Your patience pays off in multiples, not percentages. But the magic isn't just in the money. It's in the mindset. Becoming a limited partner in these funds means you stop reacting and start anticipating. You stop being a spectator and become a part of something alive and evolving. You're not just one more investor sitting on the sidelines. You become an insider to the future being built. Now, here's something not spoken about enough. Access. People think LP roles are reserved for giants with billions to throw around. Guess what? That's partly true. But smart players have found ways to break in without needing a private jet or a vault of cash. Strategic networking, joining syndicates, aligning with the few who burn as you do, these are your weapons. Don't settle for the minimum investment line without digging deeper. Often, there are doors cracked open by those with vision and grit, and it's not just about money. Being an LP is about influence, quiet influence that shapes what's coming next. When you are part of the fund, you get insights others don't. You get to see patterns, spot shifts, and sometimes even steer the ship with your voice. This is how you move beyond passivity, beyond mere speculation. Now, you might be scared. That's normal. Investing out of the mainstream always feels risky. But consider this. Sticking to the mainstream has its own risks. The risk of being trapped in stagnant growth, the risk of fading returns, the risk of missing out on the next big wave because you're blinded by the familiar. This strategy? It invites you to be patient, to be critically thoughtful, to look beyond headlines and hype. It calls you to break free from the system that processes people into mere numbers and instead become sovereign investors who shape their own destinies. It's not easy. It demands unlearning what everyone else believes about safe investing. It requires faith, not blind faith, but educated faith grounded in understanding how the hidden edges of markets work. So listen closely if you're done waiting. If you're weary of the noise and desperate for something real. If you feel that fire inside, that silent scream telling you there's more beyond this conformity, then this is your signal, your invitation. Forget trying to compete in crowded arenas where everyone's playing the same game. Step aside and seek the quiet corners where the future quietly unfolds. Align yourself with those few who refuse to bend to mediocre norms, those who dare to challenge the status quo. Because here's the secret. When you become a limited partner in obscure funds, you're not just investing money. You're investing in possibility, in transformation, in becoming more than another anonymous face in the crowd. The world tries to sell you comfort, promises safe routes, but comfort is the enemy of growth. Real liberation, real success comes from seizing your freedom to choose differently, to embrace the uncomfortable, the unexpected, the overlooked. Every second you hesitate, someone else is stepping into those shadows, grabbing what could have been yours. Don't let the illusion of safety chain you down. Don't trade your potential for short-term ease. Think about this. What if the very thing everyone dismisses as too obscure, too complicated, too risky, is where the real magic lives? What if the treasure troves you seek aren't in the blaring headlines, but in those quiet funds where visionaries build beneath the radar? Limited partners in these funds are creators of the future. They are the few who refuse to settle. They understand that in the silence of obscurity, real power grows. This is not speculation. This is liberation. It's about rebelling against the system that rewards the many with mediocrity and favors the few who dare. So, what can you do right now? Start looking beyond the obvious. Research quietly, but deeply. Connect with the rare ecosystem forming beneath mainstream radar. Ask questions that make others uncomfortable. Demand alignment with truth and action, not noise. This is how you reclaim your power. This is how you become sovereign. And here's the most important part. Don't just watch. Don't just dream. Act. Because liberation isn't handed out in slogans or hollow promises. It's seized through action, through transformation. Be patient in this race. Let others chase quick wins and cheap popularity. You're crafting something bigger, a legacy beyond fleeting trends. In the end, when the world's illusions fall away, those who dare to become limited partners in the unseen will stand tall, free, and potent, holding the keys to their own futures. It's your call. Stay comfortable and conform, or burn brighter and break free. Choose wisely. Choose to become the rare,